The National Hispanic Hero Award is a testimonial, a recognition of contributions made by extraordinary individuals who have unselfishly given of themselves in a lifetime of dedicated service to the Hispanic community of the United States. It is with great pride and pleasure that we now introduce you to this year's recipient of the National Hispanic Hero Award. Raul Yzaguirre was born in San Juan, Texas, near the Mexico-Texas border in 1939.
My mother was a very smart lady. She was a high school graduate at a time when folks didn't graduate from high school, even Anglos, and she also had some college experience. And she taught me the value of education. She just expected me to go to college. She expected me to do well. My father taught me how to be a man. He instilled those values of honor and respect and keeping your word. But it was my grandfather, my maternal grandfather, who influenced me the most.
His grandfather, an orphan who had once rode with Pancho Villa, was nearly lynched coming home from work after a curfew imposed only on Mexican Americans in South Texas.
The Anglos lived in one part of town and Mexican Americans lived in another part of town. All the polluting industries were on our side of the town. We were not expected to go to certain places. The politics were very one-sided. We were 85% of the population, but we almost had zero representation in the elected officials. So it was very clear that there was two societies, and we were the lesser of those two societies.
In search of adventure, before enrolling in high school, Raul runs away from home.
I ran away from home when I was 13 and ended up in Corpus Christi, Texas, which is the home of the American GI Forum and the home of the founder of the American GI Forum, Dr. Garcia. And I wanted to work on a ship, and I did. And there came a point in my career, if you will, where I had to make a decision whether I was going to continue to do that or do something else. And about that time, I heard about Dr. Garcia, Dr. Hector Garcia, the founder of the American GI Forum. And I was just so impressed with his work and his commitment to our community that I decided then and there in the middle of the ocean that that's what I wanted to do.
Raul returns home at age 15, organizes the American GI Forum Juniors, an auxiliary of the American GI Forum. While in high school, he also confronts the school board on how winners of school popularity contests, such as Homecoming Queen, were chosen, and organizes the first ever student walkout.
The election was rigged so to favor Anglos. And so I took that challenge on, and the administration of the school didn't want the changes, and so we organized around that issue and we had a walkout.
In 1959, Raul joins the Air Force and graduates first in his class from medical school. But even the Air Force wasn't free from discrimination.
This was a Latino child who was being operated on without anesthesia. And he started to cry. And the nurse asked the doctor to be careful. The doctor replied by saying that there was nothing to worry about, that Latinos cried every time they saw blood. And I reacted very violently to that remark.
Throughout his 4 years at the Air Force, Raul challenged authority when it came to protecting human rights. And despite his confrontations with his superiors, Raul receives commendations and the respect from those he serves with. After the service, he attends George Washington University, turning down a career in medicine.
When I was going through college, I organized chapters of the American GI Forum and chapters of LULAC and the Huelga Committee to support Cesar Chavez and a whole range of other organizations.
After graduation, he joins the Office of Economic Opportunities, the War on Poverty, where he has a variety of assignments, including advisor to Director Sergeant Shriver. But Raul's greatest accomplishment was yet to come.
I wanted an organization that had resources and had credibility and had the power to unite the grassroots organizations. So I conceived of something called the National, at the time, the Southwest Council of La Raza, and submitted a proposal to the Ford Foundation, which led to the hiring of the three founders of the National Council of La Raza. Three great individuals who went around the country and actually developed the organization.
But 6 years after being founded, the organization finds itself lacking funding and resources and looking for a new CEO.
So I turned to my friend and I said, I pity the poor son of a bitch who gets this job.
A group of community leaders approached Raul and take him aside.
Locked me up in a room, actually, literally, and wouldn't let me out until I agreed to apply for the CEO position at the National Council of La Raza.
In 1974, the National Council of La Raza was a Chicano organization, but under his leadership, Raul opens the doors of NCLR to all Hispanics, which was a radical concept back in the 70s and 80s. In the 30 years that follow, Raul builds the National Council of La Raza into the nation's largest Hispanic organization, annually serving over 4 million people through more than 300 affiliated community-based groups. Their services are diverse and include charter schools, after-school programs, job readiness and training, English language preparation, and health centers.
I was the first chairman of most of these organizations and the organizer, and we supported all the organizing efforts and costs associated with the building of these institutions.
In the field of arts, NCLR produced in 1982 the Ballad of Gregorio Cortez, and in 1988 the Milagro Beanfield War, and in 1995 aired the Alma Awards, the first primetime network Latino award show.
I took over an organization that had no assets and no prospects of funding, and I left an organization with $100 million in assets and a good reputation and a good constituency.
Throughout his years at NCLR, Raul never stopped challenging authority. He was arrested in front of the South Africa Embassy for protesting the apartheid. He was appointed chair of the Hispanic Advisory Commission to the INS, and then fired for publicly criticizing the administration's immigration reform proposals. And he took on the administration when he felt that they were not doing enough for the Hispanic community. And through these times, it was always his wife and children who supported him the most.
When I started the consulting firm, my annual income for that first year was $3,000. So we had to go on food stamps, and she never complained. She supported me. And then when I came to the council, National Council of Raza, we were also at the first year. We went through some very difficult years, and we had payless paydays, and we had to take a second mortgage on my home, and so we had some rough times. But actually they were the best times we've ever had. Looking back on them, we tell stories about how we looked under the couch and found quarters and pennies to buy peanut butter, and it actually weren't bitter moments. They were fun moments.
Today, Raul heads the Center for Community Development and Civil Rights at Arizona State University. His mission is to address the challenges that face young Latino males, to focus on parent participation in their children's education, and to examine how civil rights in the 21st century will affect not only Latinos, but all Americans.
Just as I want to be remembered as somebody who tried to do his best, and who just tried to do his best. Saw the world as it was and try to make it a little bit better.
Raul has not only changed how America thinks about the Hispanic community, he has helped change how the members of that community think about themselves. Raul has always sought to build up the confidence of Hispanics, mobilizing individuals so they become more engaged citizens who secure their rights to economic opportunity and political empowerment.
I have Parkinson's, and it requires a lot of physical therapy and meditation and lots of things that require a lot of time, and I just don't have the time because there's a lot more to do.
On behalf of the Board of Directors and the staff of the United States Leadership Institute and the 26th Annual United States Hispanic Leadership Conference, we salute you.